Hi guys, Tim here, a portrait and fashion photographer and videographer based in London. So today I want to share with you guys my thoughts on the Lumix S1Ii. After purchasing the Lumix S1Ii for about a month right now, this is actually a good time for me to be able to share my thoughts on this particular camera. So I switched from the Sony A7S III to the Lumix S1Ii, and at this point, 1 month in, I can definitely tell you that I do not regret making this purchase at all. And also, I know some of my friends were wondering, why did I have to switch from the Sony to the Lumix? I would say this is actually an half switch. I still own Sony cameras. I currently have 2 Sony cameras and 1 Lumix camera. So I literally traded one of my Sony cameras to get the Lumix S1Ii. So I'm still definitely Sony fanboy still, because I have loads of Sony lenses. So today it's not about me reading specs and all of them things to you guys, because I know you definitely have seen a lot of videos out there on YouTube as regards the specs and what the camera can do. So the first thing I love about this camera is the stabilization. Everybody knows right now that Lumix stabilization, internal stabilization, high beast, yeah, it's top notch. Like there's no other camera brand that can actually touch this. Coming from someone who has actually used a whole lot of different cameras and different camera brands, except Nikon, obviously. Like, no pun intended, I'm sorry. And also, even the cupless stabilization, where the camera actually stabilizes the footage for you without actually cropping into the footage, where you have in different camera brands that, when they stabilize, that punches in 1.1 time or something for the stabilization to actually work correctly. But there's a cupless I hope I'm saying this correctly. There's a cupless stabilization, which is amazing. And also, if you need to go high on the stabilization, it's just amazing. This is one thing I absolutely love about the Lumix S1Ii. Something else I love about the Lumix S1Ii is the photography. Yes, I understand in this YouTube space, we barely actually talk about the photography side of Lumix camera. And guys, this is not my first Lumix camera. I have actually shot with the Lumix original S5, the other S5 II. I've owned this camera, which I use and I sold, because I like selling and getting different cameras, and I've absolutely shot photography using this camera, and I'm going to put some pictures up here for you guys to see some samples. Lumix, definitely, there's no slouch in the photography part, but I just feel like most people tend to navigate to other camera brands for photography, like the Canon, the Sony, and probably Nikon, and all of them loads of Fujifilm. But Lumix in the photography aspect is definitely no slouch. I've shot a couple images even with the Lumix S1Ii, and I absolutely love the image. I can't really find a difference between my Lumix S1Ii and every other camera brand I actually own. The only difference I can actually find is probably maybe because of the megapixel, because this is a 24 megapixel camera. But yeah, aside that, the photography is amazing. The colors straight out from camera, beautiful. And also for the fact that you can actually load in your lot and see your pictures literally the way you might have already envisaged the photos, exceptional. Ever since owning this Lumix S1Ii for about 3 months right now, I can absolutely tell you I have not shot anything aside open gates. Yes, I know there's been a crazy fiasco about open gates or not open gates. One thought I've always owed dearly is I'd rather have it and not need it than not have it and actually need it. So that's just it for me. So we understand the open gate gives you flexibility for you having to shoot horizontally and still be able to get probably like a vertical from the same footage, instead of you having to turn your camera vertical and also turn your camera horizontal for different projects. These are literally all of the things I love about the Lumix S1Ii, and this is going to bring me to the things I really do not like. I wouldn't say hate, I would say the things I really do not like about the Lumix S1Ii. So the first thing is going to be the battery life. Yes, this camera drains battery really fast. Very lucky that I actually own some Lumix batteries before owning the Lumix S1 II, so that actually saved me a cost in having to purchase extra batteries. But even though, still, this camera runs batteries, like it chews on batteries like it's nothing. So secondly, what I do not really like about the Lumix S1 II is the startup or the boot up time. It tends to actually turn on a little bit slower than my other camera, so that is something I've actually noticed. But I think let's just walk around this situation. So everything I'm saying that I really do not like about the camera is something that is definitely manageable. It's not something very extreme. So I think the startup time for the Lumix S1 II is still a little bit slower compared to other camera brands. And finally, what I don't like about the Lumix S1 II is the menu system. The menu system seems to be a little bit cumbersome. Like there's a lot of things in the menu that you need to like play with before you can actually figure out what exactly you want. Once you own the camera and you've learned to use the camera, this really won't be a problem. So at this point, it seems like I'm just nitpicking based on what to find exactly that I don't like about the camera. So most of the things I mentioned are something that are very manageable. And also I would also just add a bonus point right now. It's going to be the amount of options you have to shoot with. This is something I really don't like. I know this is something very subjective to different people. I just feel like there's a whole lot of options, like loads of pages of options based on what format you want to shoot in. Like give me something that I know, okay, I'm shooting 4K, I'm shooting 6K, I'm shooting that's just it. But I think I'm just literally nitpicking at this point. There's a whole lot of shooting formats. There's 6K, there's 5.9K, there's 4K, there's 4K 120, there's 4K 60. Then you have like the options are just a whole lot. And me still saying this at the same time, I will still counter myself. I think Lumix actually thought about this beforehand, so they gave an option for you to be able to filter down exactly what shooting format you actually need, which is quite nice and creative of them. So I think these are all of the things I really do not like about the Lumix S1 II. I'm going to end on that note, but aside all of these things I've mentioned, the Lumix S1 II is actually an amazing camera. It's definitely one of the very good investment I think I made. Right, so that's going to bring me to the end of today's video. If you actually own the Lumix S1 II, you can actually comment down below what you think you actually do not really like about the camera, and also what you think you find really cool about the camera. So I haven't done a whole lot of like jobs, or haven't shot a lot using the camera, but I've done some few stuff using a particular camera. But definitely when I tend to like do some other stuff, I'll bring them up here on my YouTube channel and share them with you. So if you're definitely looking into getting the Lumix S1 II, I think is definitely going to be a very good investment for you. So that brings us to the end of today's video. I hope you guys enjoy. Kindly like this video and also subscribe to my channel if this is your first time here, and I'll be seeing you on my next video. Bye guys.